Good everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we'll be discussing about the four categories of PhD student or four categories of research student. Who finishes their PhD first? Four types of PhD students. They are: one, as you can see from the screen, we have perfectionists, we have busy students, we have dependent students, and we have strategic finishers. So in this video we are going to discuss about the four of them. Every PhD student begins their journey thinking the same thing, having the same mindset. I will finish in 3 or 4 years. But reality often looks very different. Some students graduate on time, some take extra years, and some feel completely stuck halfway through their PhD. So what makes the difference? Is it intelligence? Not really. In many cases, it comes down into these three key things, which are work habits, planning, and mindset. These are the three key things that determine who finishes first: work habit, planning, and mindset of the student. So in this video, we will look at four common types of PhD students and discover which one is most likely to finish first and why. By the end of the video, you will also learn how you can become the type of student who finishes on time. Now, the first category of student is the perfectionist. The perfectionist researcher. As you can see from this loop, it research, it edit, it doubt, it do more edit, a lot of delay, research, it keep on the loop. Now, this student is extremely careful with their work. They read everything. It's important to read everything, but those students, they read everything. They double check every reference. They rewrite each paragraph again and then again and again. You often hear them say, I just need one more week to improve this section. Just one week to improve this section. Their supervisor usually appreciates the quality of their work, but there is a hidden problem, and that problem is progress becomes very slow. Weeks turn into months while they keep refining the same section. Perfectionism can quietly become one of the biggest obstacles in a PhD program. Because a PhD is not about writing the perfect thesis. It is about making a clear academic contribution and moving forward. Likely outcome from a perfectionist student is a very strong thesis but a high risk of delay. Lesson: done is better than perfect. The second category is the busy but scattered student. Busy versus productivity. This student is always doing something. They attend conferences, they join collaborations, they help colleagues, they participate in side projects. Their calendar is completely filled up. But there is one surprising problem. Their thesis chapters are empty. Their chapters are still empty. They became confused. They confuse being busy with being productive. To others, these students look extremely active and engaged. Even supervisors may assume everything is going well, but without focus, writing and analysis time, the PhD progress becomes very slow. Likely outcome of this category of students is that many activities but slow thesis progress. Lesson from this: focus beats busyness. The third category is the student lost without guidance. Passive versus proactive student. This student relies heavily on their supervisor for direction. When meetings happen regularly, progress moves forward. But when feedback is delayed or supervision becomes irregular, the student feels stuck. They often hesitate to make decisions on their own. Instead, they wait and sometimes they wait too long. This creates a situation where the PhD becomes reactive instead of proactive. If the supervisor is busy or less involved, the student progress can slow down significantly. Likely outcome of this kind of student progress strongly depends on supervision quality. It means when the supervision is slow, then the progress will be slow. But when the supervision is fast, then definitely there may be what high rate of what progress. Let's see from this kind of student, a PhD student must eventually learn to lead their own research project. You should not depend on your supervisor or depending on others. You should be able to carry your research to the next level without waiting for what the other person or your supervisor. And the next category of student is the strategic finisher. The strategic finisher. The fourth type is what the strategic. This student approaches the PhD like a long-term project with clear milestone. They set realistic deadlines. They write regularly even when the writing feels messy. They submit draft early and improve them with feedback. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, they keep moving forward. They also maintain balance. They take breaks. They protect their mental health. They avoid burnout. Most importantly, they focus on what actually helps them graduate, not only what feels interesting. They also communicate clearly with their supervisors and keep meetings productive. Likely outcome, steady progress and a high chance of finishing on time. Lesson from this kind of student: strategy beats stress. Strategy beats stress. So, who finishes first? Among these four categories of students, who do you think will finish first? Let's compare the four types. The perfectionist produces excellent work but risks serious delay. The busy student looks productive but lacks focus on the thesis. The dependent student struggles when supervision is unclear, but the strategic finisher moves forward consistently and avoids major delays. So the clear winner is the strategic finisher, not because they are smarter, but because they manage time, expectations, and progress more effectively. How you can become the strategic finisher? How did you think you can become the strategic finisher? Now, the good news is this: you don't need to change your personality. You only need to adjust your daily habit and research strategy. Start by setting monthly goals, not just yearly goals. Break large research tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Write regularly, even when your draft feels messy. Remember, first drafts are supposed to be imperfect. You rework on them till they become perfect. Perfect, focus research time like an important appointment. Ask for feedback early. Don't disappear for 6 months and then submit a 100 pages draft. Track your progress regularly. If something is stuck for too long, change your approach, and just as importantly, take care of yourself. A burnout PhD student is a slow PhD student. Final thought: completing a PhD is not a race, but time still matters. Delays can affect funding, motivation, future career opportunities. Interestingly, the students who finish on time are not always the most brilliant. They are often the ones who are most consistent, focused, and strategic. So take a moment to reflect and ask yourself honestly, which of these four students am I right now? Which of the four categories of students do I belong to? You need to ask yourself this question and then ask a better question: which one do I want to become? Because small changes in how you work each week can save you months or even years during your PhD journey, and that can make all the difference. If you find this video helpful or useful, then like the video, share your experience in the comment section, subscribe to Spark Scholar G for more tips on research, academia, and PhD success.